DJ Durkin has been fired less than 24 hours after he was reinstated yesterday by the university following administrative leave. And of course, that was all in the wake of Jordan McNair's death back in June.
And this also comes after the report released today, or that we found out about, that two players scuffled during practice, the kicker and the punter at the University of Maryland during practice. And apparently the two players were on opposite sides, one in support of keeping DJ Durkin, the other one in support of firing him, not supporting the fact that they were keeping him. So we knew this ran very deep on campus within the players, and also the student body, where there were many conversations publicly, people upset that they had kept him yesterday, and now today the news he is gone.
Yeah, of course, if you remember yesterday, after he was reinstated, Durkin met with his team for the first time, and some players walked out of that meeting in protest of his reinstatement, including two players going to social media yesterday as well to say that they were disappointed in the decision. Adam Rittenberg has been covering this story for the last several months, and he joins us now here on SportsCenter. Adam, what's the very latest you can tell us on the fact that DJ Durkin has now been fired?
Sure. This has been confirmed by a university spokeswoman to ESPN. There'll be a statement going out shortly from University President Wallace Lowe. DJ Durkin, they called a quick team meeting moments ago where DJ Durkin informed the players that he has been fired. He's no longer the head coach of the Terrapins.
You've had some information yesterday as it related to some of the inner workings of how it led to his reinstatement. Have you been able to get any additional reporting, Adam, in terms of how that reception has been played out amongst the Board of Regents and other powers that be on that campus?
Sure. Well, since they announced their decision on Tuesday, there's been tremendous criticism, especially from politicians in the state. You know, the governor of Maryland, Larry Hogan, has issued several statements, including a very strongly worded statement in the last hour, calling for the board to reconsider its decision, to be more transparent. Obviously, many officials many people at University of Maryland have been critical. The student body president, they scheduled a rally on Thursday to honor Jordan McNair, but also to protest the fact that Durkin had been brought back as the head coach. So there's been a tremendous pushback on the Board of Regents who, we were told it was their top priority to bring back DJ Durkin, and that they essentially gave University President Wallace Lowe an ultimatum. If you don't bring back DJ Durkin, we will fire you. Remember, the board only had the authority to fire Wallace Lowe. They did not have the authority to retain or remove any campus employee like DJ Durkin.
Adam, you had mentioned you had spoken to the student body president there in College Park, and of course a protest had been planned, said some of the students on campus were outraged at the decision. How much did that play into it, or was it just the reinstatement and the process through the Board of Regents that led to what happened today with DJ Durkin being fired?
Well, I think it all goes along with it. I mean, there's obviously students that are upset, but there's also a lot of powerful people in the state that were upset with the way that that was handled. Who knows how it would have been handled after that gathering tomorrow on campus, where a lot of student organizations are involved. There were protests also planned for the game this weekend, a home game against Michigan State. So again, they've obviously decided that they could not go forward at this point with Durkin as their coach after this backlash, and trying to at least calm it down for the next couple of days.
Adam, this is Sage Steele. One of the most riveting things that I think came out of yesterday was when Jordan McNair's father, Marty McNair, spoke at the podium after the decision was made, the announcement that DJ Durkin was being retained. And the quote, he said it felt like he'd been punched in the stomach, like someone had spit in his face. That's what everybody was talking about afterwards as well, the feeling of the father of the young man who died while at practice. How much do you think those comments may have played into today's decision?
Sure, Sage. I asked him that question, his reaction to the news yesterday of reinstating Durkin. And I also asked the very first question of the news conference with Board of Regents Chairman James Brady. I said, Jordan McNair's parents have repeatedly called for this coach to be fired. What's your message to them today? And, he kind of referred to their assessment of Durkin and supporting him at that time. But certainly that was an emotional quote, an emotional news conference with the McNairs and their attorneys. And certainly that, I believe, did resonate and got the attention of everybody else, including University President Wallace Lowe, who, again, I think always wanted this to be the outcome, but now it is after the backlash against the board.
Yeah, Adam, because yesterday it was almost like as if the Board of Regents gave President Lowe an ultimatum, either reinstate DJ Durkin or you will be fired. He came out yesterday and said that he's going to retire in June at the end of the academic year. Do you know if that will affect his decision now that DJ Durkin has been fired? And also, what about Damon Evans, the new AD there in Maryland? Is his job still secure?
Yeah, from what I've been told, that Damon Evans' job is still secure, and I'd be surprised if President Lowe walks back his retirement. He was pretty definitive about that, but also said he wants to use the time from now until the end of June to clean up the athletic department, to make it more functional. Dysfunctional was a word that was used a lot in the investigative report as well as in the news conference from the Board of Regents on Tuesday. And I think there's obviously some non-athletic projects that Lowe hopes to get done before he steps down. So I would still imagine that's the case. But I think, this is obviously the most important piece. The person that, many people in and around Maryland's program did not think was going to come back. Even some of those that supported Durkin, just didn't see a path for him to return. He was reinstated, but only for a day.
Adam, we are still in the middle of a football season, and all of the rest of the football team, of course, has a job to do, as difficult as this has been for them. What next? What next for the Terrapins players as they try to continue on as normal and play these games?
Yeah, it's incredible all they've been through, Sage. I mean, I would imagine, I have not confirmed this, that Matt Canada, who has been the interim coach through the first 8 games of the season, was appointed to that position after DJ was placed on administrative leave back in August. I would imagine he will continue to be the head coach this weekend for the team against Michigan State. But now they only have, a couple of days to just process everything that's happened this week. I mean, they had done a good job of that. They went 5-3. They have a big win against Texas. They played very well this past weekend. And Canada on Tuesday, before all of this went down, has said that, hey, I've kept the entire focus on the players, not on everything else, not on the coaches, not on what's going on with Durkin and everyone else around the program. But I think that message is going to have to ring true even more now to try to keep these players focused as much as possible for this game on Saturday.